collectors that came with the headers. This bung here is for the O2 sensor. Now, I need to get this thing in such a running condition that I can get it started and it can kind of self-tune, and then I got to get it to the get the front end aligned and all the things like that. So I need to be able to drive this thing. With the O2 sensor, what I've read is I can't just run this thing open headers. I have to have an exhaust on it for it to really run properly. I bought a couple pieces of this flexible exhaust tubing. That'll slide on over here. I'll put a clamp on it, and then I'll connect that up to the rest of the exhaust system. And again, that's temporary. Then I'll get it to an exhaust shop and have a real set of head pipes made. And I'm going to put this together before I put the collector on. It's just easier. Anything I can do and not be on my back under the car is good to me. Here it is all put together. I'm using these, I splurged and bought these band clamps so that hopefully it'll be easier to get this flexible tubing off than if I use regular clamps. I'm going to use Mr. Gasket Ultra Seal collector gaskets on this. I've used these before. They work pretty good. The collector's on. This is it from the bottom, and that's the O2 sensor there. Everything's all in. And here's what I'm going to do for the rest of the system for now. This is my old exhaust system, Flowmaster mufflers and such. I had to cut it off to get it out. I couldn't take it apart. So I'm going to cobble this thing back together and just end it at the axle for now. So I bought some downturns and stuck them at the ends of the muffler, and then I bought a connector to hook up the crossover, and it'll be temporary just to until I can get it to a muffler shop, have muffler shop put a system on. It's really hard to film while doing stuff under the car, so I'm going to kind of do things and then I'll show you what I did. So here are the two pipes and mufflers that you saw on the ground. I have the hangers, the factory hangers here, bolted in, and then I've just got them hanging from those downturns here. That's that one. That's that one. Then you can see the crossover. I have it connected with a connector thing that I bought at the store. Right now it's just kind of wired up. So I'm wondering how to get the front of this tied down. You know, I have this flexible tubing that I'm using. So obviously I got to hold the front of this up somehow. And the pipes where they were cut is short of the cross member here. I was thinking I could hang it from that, but they're too short, and I don't want to hang it from the flexible part. Even though it's temporary, you know, I'm going to end up putting a few miles on this thing with this exhaust on. I'll show you what I figured out I was going to do for the front. I bent up this bracket, and that was just stuck it in the vise and bent it over. No big deal. And this is going to hold kind of as a cradle under the front of the exhaust pipe. So here's what that bracket and cradle looks like on there. So the exhaust pipe is just setting in there, and what I'll do is I'll wire it down to it. The holes that I put it in were actually here already. I do anytime you're slipping a pipe or a hose over something is I mark. These are in 1/2-inch increments, and then I number them. And that way when I slip the item over, I know how far I'm in, or if it actually slips out, I can tell. Here's the finished product. There's the flex tube going back into my cobbled together exhaust system, and then that's that, here's that bracket that I made, holding everything up, and I just wired it to here to just kind of keep in place. But it'll work out fine for a temporary exhaust system.